Hello, I'm Andrea Spool-White, and I'll be discussing Connectivism, the learning theory for the digital age. Connectivism is basically a theory that was developed by Mr. George Siemens. He felt that the field of education was so slow to recognize both the impact of new learning tools and the environmental changes and what it means to learn. They didn't incorporate digital technology. The early learning theories were the main ones, which were behaviorism, cognitivism, and constructivism were developed prior to any of the technology advances that we have now in education. So he came up with this theory. There are a lot of definitions and interpretations of his theory. The one that resonated with me was by Corbett F. and Spindello. Connectivism produces an examination of technology trends, the evolution of learning, changes in organizations, and the nature and source of knowledge. There are four foundations as it relates to connectivism. You have autonomy, which is more or less self-directed learning, connectedness, where we use our sociability, relatedness, network connections for the connectedness foundation, diversity. The theory takes into the unique perspectives and creativity of its members, irregardless of gender, race, culture, socioeconomic status, and so forth. And we have openness, and that's more or less the ability to exchange ideas, be creative, be curious, explore new ideas, just be open to new concepts. Connectivism has several principles: knowledge principles, learner principles, and learning principles. So I'm going to discuss a few of those. Knowledge principles is a set of connections formed by actions or experience. Knowledge can be fast-growing and abundant. Knowledge can be quickly obsolete, as we can tell by cell phones, just in earlier educational practices, we used a marker board. Marker boards are rarely used. Everything is more digital. Individualistic, as constructed, connected by a particular person. Knowledge resides in individual minds and across networks. Then we have learning principles. The learning can reside in non-human applications. We are using more and more algorithms like Amazon for learning to generate what people like. When you log into an Amazon website, you see where you have browsed certain items, and then it generates an algorithm that provides additional items that you may like based on your browsing history. Learning act of recognizing patterns shaped by complex networks. Learning also can move from formal to informal settings. It's lifelong and it's driven by personal motivation. The learner is considered the center of the network. It connects the pieces, or the learner connects the pieces. Decides what to learn, decides who to connect with. You can see the graphic on the right. The yellow bulb and the person under it, that's the learner. And the disc to the right reflects their individual knowledge. To the left, you've got Wi-Fi, you've got television, mobile device, laptop, peers. In this particular graphic, they have more knowledgeable others, which to me, that's subject matter experts. You have your technology, which is the cloud, websites, MOOCs, blogs. So you have a vast network. It's only a few of the items, but network can encompass a lot more. It's all on what the learner wants to connect with. The learner directs his learning. They find the information and create the knowledge. Learners follow, or the learner follows their personal interest and their own learning preference. Learner may learn more face-to-face, or they may be asynchronous, don't need the face-to-face. They may like to research the open resources so that they can develop knowledge versus being taught in a structured setting. The main critique of connectivism is that it is, new. It needs further development and testing. That concludes the end of my